involved with blocking the baseball. Today, we're going to take our student, our catcher here, and we're going to basically start with focusing on setup. If we don't have a good first setup, we're not going to have a lot of success blocking the baseball. Again, if we're trying to block from our pitch calling position or our primary position where we normally sit with no runners on base, we're not going to have a lot of success. That's why we have the secondary position, secondary, blocking, throwing, whatever kind of name you want to give it. But this is the position we need to get in. So we're going to have our player go ahead and hop in there. Notice he's a bit more spread out now. His hand is no longer sat behind his right foot, rather than it's going to be sat in here, allowing for him to have a quick hands, whether it's transferring, moving down to block, whatever the need may be. So look how his butt and his butt and his lower half is pretty much even along the lines of his knees. Again, this is not going to be a very comfortable position to sit in. To sit here is going to be taxing. That's why we don't want to spend a lot of time in here. That's why we only really use this position when we have runners on base or 2 strikes when we need to make a block, make a throw. So now we go from this position, and the first thing we want to do when we see and read the ball in the dirt is we want to lead the way with our hands. Our body is going to follow where our hands go. So if our hands lead the way, our body will go. Then again, if you notice, if you go knees first, your hands may get caught up here, allowing for the 8-hole to be open, and that's not very good. So the body will always follow our hands. So our hands go, which follows next is our knees. Our knees fall to the ground, creating a nice cave. Notice how his chest is focused over the top of his glove, therefore creating a nice little cave for the ball to be bounced in. You're going to want your head to be at the first. You're still tracking the ball in the entire time. So you're not just falling down and having your head go straight down. You're allowing your body to work while your eyes are still trained on the baseball. So as the baseball is coming in, we stay with this big, nice cave, and notice how his head is following the baseball down and into his chest. We don't want to pull our head out because that's when we get into a little bit of trouble. Our hands come up, our posture breaks down, and we also become susceptible to that ball jumping up and getting us in the neck, which is not very comfortable by any means. So notice here, he's sat down very nice and good. His behind is almost sitting on his feet. That tells me that he has very good hip mobility, which is absolutely essential for all our catchers, and he also has great technique. Because he's able to sit down here, he's going to be able to control the baseball far better. He's not going to be able to kind of pop out of that position and get sloppy with it. This is creating a very strong base for that ball to come into. He has a very big target. Another thing, we want to focus on being as big as possible because the more surface area we have, the better likelihood there is that the ball's going to hop up and get me. At the end of the day, when we're playing in the game, and if that ball happens to hit me in the arm and go down and hit me in the inside of the leg, you know what? We'll take those kind of blocks. At this position, we breed tough players back here, and you know what? Sometimes it's going to be uncomfortable. Blocking the baseball sometimes isn't going to feel the best, but what does feel really good is making that block with this good technique with the runner on third in the bottom of the 9th inning and saving our team a run. So without this technique, those things are going to be very tough. So right here is a perfect example of where we need to be, and this is great stuff. We can do a lot of really good things from this position.